shit tote to
When it
Mexico.
comes to
You know?
music, Gabe, is that one of your stresses, marketing and commercialism? Do you even worry about shit like that?
No, like used to, man. You know, when I was younger and just kind of living out, you know, in the van and stuff, and like trying to like hustle it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I was making the triangle, dude, and like trying to like get in the right clubs and do this stuff, and you know, palling around with bands. Maybe I could open up for them, and then who knows, and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Well, then you kind of like you paid attention to stuff a little bit, and then it dawns on you. What finally happens is you hit that barrier, and they're like, okay, dude, it's time we have a talk, and you know, here's what's gonna cost, and I'm like, wait, cost me?
Right.
Oh no, never mind,
Yeah.
never mind. You know, and there's absolutely a freedom in that. You know, and here's the deal. I don't mean to shit on just Texas country because that's in all of these little genres.
Yeah.
The folk world's just as greasy,
It's
dude.
everywhere, man. It's
It's
everywhere.
100%, dude.
That's
And
why
it's it,
DIY and kind of the age of
100.
today kind of
Yeah.
it's good for artists, right? It's good in a sense because you can kind of bypass
Well, think about it, man.
those entrenched traditions, right? But
Sure, sure. Well, used to there was only so many places to go and record
right.
your work.
Yep.
Nobody could afford a fucking, you know, multi-track thing in their mom's bedroom or whatever the fuck we're talking, you
Right.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so now technology and all that stuff. Now, I think at some points maybe some people shouldn't be so eager to put some stuff out on the internet
Agreed.
to live forever, you
Yep.
know, in the digital whatever. Like maybe that's the other second point. I'm like, hey, point number one, listen to and watch as much Carlin as you can. Two, you be your worst critic and you always be editing, man.
Yep.
You know, if you get to a point where you can't call bullshit on yourself, then find a very cynical buddy, back to that
Mm-hmm.
chestnut, right? Find a very cynical asshole buddy that will tell you, even if he's mean about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you got to hear that shit, man. You know, I had a dude tell me not too long ago, we were talking about, you know, what I do or whatever, and I was trying to kind of explain what it was I did, and he's like, oh, the singer songwriter thing. He's like, well, you know, the songwriter that's dead. He's like, AI is gonna have that job any day now.
Nope.
He's like, not to mention, dude, for the last 20 years, it's been mostly hubris anyway, you know. And I was like, you know, up your ass, dude. What are you talking
Mm-hmm.
about, right?
You got the wrong
And,
shovel. You're digging in the wrong spot. One of the two.
well, right, and but then it was a short, like 2 days later, I was amongst some other songwriters, you know,
Yep.
and I was kind of like watching the room, and I'm like, fuck, he wasn't all that wrong, you know,
Yeah.
because it is
Oh
like a little
man.
badge. We like to put this little badge on our chest, you know, like, well, I'm a songwriter. Oh, okay, fine, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
then play me something, asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. And that's kind of the bad side of it, right? Is that oversaturation, right? Like everybody can do it, but it's not all quality, and you know,
yep,
just trying to
yep,
find the wheat through the
yep,
chaff is really
yep,
difficult.
yep.
Plus, you're at the mercy of the algorithms and other people and shit like that as well, right?
And at that point, dude, it doesn't even matter what the song is
Right.
anymore, right?
Yep.
How good are you at that game,
Yep.
right? How good are you at getting these little things to jump for 5 seconds or whatever the, you know, the engagement is, you know, on a TikTok or whatever, you know. um and I was really like refueled, I guess. Hayes Carl was at the Old Quarter Monday and Tuesday night this past week,
I heard
and
that.
beautiful. I got to sneak into both shows, dude. It was wonderful. Matt Tedder playing guitar
Hmm.
and just rip, you know. Um, and seeing Hayes back in the Old Quarter, in the room, you know, and hearing him talk about it and going, that's the stuff. That's, you know, there's a reason this room works the way it works. And for me especially, man, I got lucky when I first got into writing songs here in College Station. I had two buddies, Mike Ethan Messick and another guy, Shane Walker, that was in a little band called the Side Hill Gougers, became the Gougers.
Yep.
Jamie Wilson came out of, you know, and the Gougers really were ahead of their time. I know that's trite, but they really were. Um, Ethan is a complete sweetheart of a guy, one of the best people.
Incredible songwriter too. Golly.
Dude, I mean, you know, we're talking about Heather being completely just effortless and natural. Ethan is like the Roger Miller of our little clique back in the day,
Mm.
because you couldn't say shit clever around him. Because by the time it dawned on you that, hey, maybe that's a good line or whatever,
Yeah.
this asshole already written 2 songs off of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
While he's sitting there talking to you, and you're like, God Almighty, dude. But like Shane, God bless him, and I love him forever for it. He was a bit of an asshole, and if you played something that was bunk, he'd tell you. You know, if you played something that maybe wasn't bunk, he'd still call it bunk. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it got you to a point where you were like, okay, maybe he's right. You at least look at it, you
Yeah.
know, and go,
The
well,
cure for complacency, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's right, dude. And I'll always be grateful for that. So then, you know, 2000 is about when I really kind of started playing, you know, and playing out and stuff like that, and figuring out how to plug guitars in and all that kind of shit. And um, I hooked up with a little band at a college station here, and uh, they'd let me go open with them, you know. So I'd ride around in a van, and you know, we'd play bullshit joints in Houston and stuff. But we figured out about the old quarter, and it was Wednesday and Thursday standing, you know, songwriter nights. And so if everybody got off working time, somebody had a car that ran and some gas money,
Yeah.
we'd rip the Galveston, dude, and like try to get in there and go play songs, right? In those days, um, the green room, it's always had a door, but the door was never closed. When Rex was running it, there was just a curtain like pulled across, and the PA was right there. On you had to run the PA on the stage, and but you could reach it from the green room, right? And so like if you were just thinking to join up, you'd see Rex's hand kind of come around the corner, and he'd turn you off, dude. You know,
Let's go.
or he'd come out and like just like put his hands on his hips and be like, "You need to tune your guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Come back when you're better." You know, whoa, it would shut you down. It was like the Sandman at the Apollo. You know, like sweep you right off the
Yeah.
stage, dude. But conversely, dude, if you played something, he'd kind of poke his head, you know, out of the curtain and look at you, you know. And if he really liked it, he'd come find you afterwards and be like, "That song you played, did you write that?" And you're like, "Yeah." And he'd go, "Hmm." And then go back in the green room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just a grunt. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And but that grunt was like, yeah,
Gold. Yeah, it was gold.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, there's plenty of arguments about you shouldn't try to get validation from somebody you don't know or whatever.
Yeah.
But fuck you, man. If you play bass for Towns and Lightning Hopkins and you know get your nose broke by fucking, then I'm gonna listen to what you have to say. You
Yep.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not lost on me how fortunate I am to all these years later be, you know, geographically close and to one of the best listening rooms on the planet, but also to be, you know, I had the first record on the old Quarter Records thing, and if you'd have told me, you know, 20 years ago, yeah, one day you're gonna make a live record at the old Quarter, I'm like, yeah, right. Let me have another
I've
whiff of
never
that.
been there yet. I'm hoping to get down there someday,
What's the
man.
matter with you?
Yeah, I
Come
got to
on.
get down there, man. I know.